Hello everybody, you have got through the longest part and now we're at the home stretch, the sleeves. So today we're going to share some tips on sleeves. So grab your favorite project, hopefully your sweater, and something to drink and yarn over with us.
And I said, you have just made my day.
Well, hello, friends. We are so glad that you have joined us for episode number 44. We are moving right on along, and we are excited about today's episode. We are going to be continuing to talk about the ranunculus, and hope you have yours with you, or maybe you're like a few of us, and not us, I haven't done it, but maybe you're like a few others that have already finished theirs. I am still working on mine, and so we're going to talk about where we're at, what we're doing, what we hope to do, and so we're glad you're here today. I'm Susie Lanier, and I live in Huntsville, Alabama.
And my name is Linda Belcher, and I live in the Charlotte area. And obviously, if you are new here, we are not in the same city. We are on split screen, but we somehow keep it cozy all the same. So, so today we're going to talk about sleeves. Whenever I get to the sleeve of a sweater, I am just like, because even if you're doing long sleeves, two long sleeves are the whole body of a sweater, but somehow that finishing a sleeve goes so fast and it's so exciting. If you're doing a short sleeve, you get done really, really fast. Yeah. So you really are on the end of the project. So you are almost there. And so really the sleeve section is, I was just going to share a couple of things. I have, of course, you've all seen, if you've been watching, my long sleeve sweater. And I just noticed, now you all going to look at it, but it looks like my sweater is wrinkled. I must not fold my sweaters very well in my drawer. You know what's happening? My dresser's getting full of sweaters. So they're packed in more, and it's like, yay. But
do you roll them? Do you roll them or fold them?
I fold them. Should I be rolling them?
You should be rolling them.
Is this true? Okay, guys, leave a comment. Do you roll or fold? I know not to hang them up.
Go.
But really?
Yeah, I roll mine. Mm-hmm. Well,
I suppose you'd have no, Aren't you
it's
smart?
harder to press a fold into it if it's rolled. Kind of like, when you pack your suitcase on a trip, you roll everything.
I never even... Well, I'm going to do that because, that'll take care of all my problems. But anyway, so I put the long sleeve.
We learn stuff all the time. We're never too old to learn new things.
Yeah. But let us know, do you roll or fold your sweaters? Or do you actually hang them? I actually was thinking about my short sleeve sweater. I think I might start hanging it because, frankly, I'd like it to grow a little, but I don't know if it will. But anyway.
The problem with that, though, is a lot of times it'll put these little bumps where the hanger it's like it'll put a bump there. So I don't know.
I'll just leave it there. I don't know. I left my Advent sweater there, and it's stretched out so large, you guys, that it's like a whole size bigger. So I don't even know what to think about that. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Hang them on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But so the sleeves. One of the things just up front is I'm only going to talk about the long sleeve option, regardless of how long you're making your sleeves, because that is just what I've done for all three of my sweaters. And that's the more traditional way of, holding your yoke or your raglan on scrap yarn and then putting them back on and then knitting the sleeves. So that is really section 7 that I'm going to be addressing. So in case you're wondering, if you want to do a sleeveless or cap sleeve, you'd be doing the short sleeve option, but you can make a short sleeve with a long sleeve option, and that's what I've done each time. So
that just sounds easier to me. It sounds easier.
Yeah, and anybody who's made any other sweater, that's probably the way you did your sleeves anyway, if it was top down. So But one of the things I learned on some video I watched a while ago, she said, if when you pick up your stitches in that underarm section, if you can see a hole now, it's going to be even bigger after it's done. So you have to make sure you don't see holes. And the way she suggested, and it works brilliantly, is if it says, let's say, pick up 4 stitches, if you need to pick up 6 to take in that, just pick up the 6 and eliminate those 2 in the next knitting yarn by knitting 2 together. So do
that was
whatever
one
it
thing
takes.
that was one thing that I learned years ago when I took a knitting class from a lady that really she just taught about sweaters. It's so crazy because that's what I did for 4 years is knit sweaters with her. But she taught so many neat tricks, and that was one of them. She said, and even when you're picking up a button, the band for the buttons, she said, do not think about how many stitches they tell you to pick up ever. You just get rid of holes on the first time. And then when you go back, you decrease to what they tell you it's supposed to be because then you don't have holes. So you do that not only on underarms, but if you're picking up for a neckband, if you're picking up for a button band, it doesn't matter what you're picking up for. Close those holes up and then decrease to the right stitch amount the next time. And I do that on baby blankets. When I have to pick up around a baby blanket, I will do the same thing. You pick up to make sure there's no holes, and on the next round, you decrease to the stitch count that you need.
Right.
So that is a great tip.
I don't think I've ever had to pick up more than 3 extra. Usually it's 2, and it's never the same on each sleeve. One side you might need to pick up 2, and one side you might need to just pick up 1.
Wow. And it's the same way with socks. When you're picking up the stitches for the gusset, the same way, because they'll tell you to pick up like 2 extra. Like if you're supposed to pick up 18 stitches, they'll say pick up an extra one. Well, usually on one side of my socks, I may have to only pick up an extra one, but on the other side, I may have to pick up 2 or 3 because you've got to close those holes up. And so you just pick up what you need, and then the next round, you just take it back to what it's supposed to be.
That's right.
And
it works brilliantly. And the other tip I will give you is if picking up your stitches on the first row isn't good, go deep, go another row down. It will not matter. You just want to get rid of those holes because blocking will probably make the holes even bigger. So if you can see them now, you're going to see them later. Of course, if you're doing lace something, holes are everywhere. It wouldn't matter as much. But when you've got what we're doing, like if it garter or stockinette, it's going to show. So anyway, that was my number 1 tip. And then, of course, you just knit your sleeve as long as you want. And now you're going to be dealing with how you're going to finish that sleeve off, which we kind of discussed last week. But all I can say is do not forget to change your needle sizes because if you want to. Now some people knit their whole sweater in the same size, and that's fine. The one thing, so in the 3 sweaters, all 3 of my ranunculuses are different. And there is an option for the diagonal sleeve, and I'm going to hold this up and show you why I am pro diagonal sleeve for a short sleeve. I don't think it matters in a long sleeve. But in a short sleeve, what will happen is your sleeve will look like it's going up. It does not lay flat across, which I would prefer. If you're doing a little cap sleeve, it may not matter, but even then now I did not do the diagonal sleeve on here because I didn't understand or I didn't care or whatever about the importance of it. I did do it on here, and you can see how this is laying almost completely horizontal. So you have to decide, do you want to do the diagonal sleeve or not? So it's just a couple of short rows that adds, they're like from here to here, and it just makes this corner or this end a little longer to bring it more like this instead of going like this. And for this sleeve, I wanted that. So, I went ahead
So
and
that's
did
the those are sleeve options in the pattern because I haven't really
They
even
are.
looked.
They are. So your
Okay.
sleeve options are, of course, I-cord finish or rib, diagonal or not. So those are kind of the things you want
Okay.
to
So
decide. But
we are the
again, let me just
designer.
show
We
you.
can decide.
I know, but see how that kind of goes up?
Yes. Yes.
And see it, if I would have done it, it would have been like that. So it
Okay.
just depends what you want to do. I'm going to roll my sweater.
There you go.
Here it goes. Like I roll.
Roll. There you go.
So, but yeah, those are the main things. And then of course the I-cord edge. I was telling Susie that of course they have, I think it's a 5-stitch I-cord edge. I just did a 3. I'm sorry, my earbuds are making weird, funky sounds. It sounds like there's a Martian in my ear. So if I make weird eyes, it's because I've got something in my head that doesn't belong.
Oh.
Oh, it just went off. Oh, it just went off. It died. It's okay. I'm just going to get rid of it. It says 98%, but I think it's faking me. It's charging all night. But anyway, back to the I-cord. The one thing is, so, you know, when I am very much, if you don't do it, I lose it kind of thing. And then I have to regroup. Well, of course, I've never done an I-cord edge on the sweaters. And so the first sleeve, to finish the I-cord, to completely cast off the stitches, it wasn't as pretty as my second time. The second time, and I just made this up, this might be a well-known technique. I don't know. I just, you know, I'm a sewer, I'm a knitter. I just kind of winged it. I put my Elizabeth Zimmerman on. Is what I did. And you know what I did, guys? So when it was a beautiful finish is I literally picked up a couple of stitches at the at the end of the cord, and there was, because there's a little gap, and then I picked up one stitch with the beginning of the cord, and I kept, you know, binding off the existing 3 stitches because you always need 4 to do a 3-cord I-cord anyway, and then I just sewed it in. So if you have to pick up a few stitches to you know, cast off, you can do that. You're going to have some space if you do an I-cord, we're talking about, of course. So that was just something I did that turned out real pretty. And so one side looks a little boogerish, and one side you can't even tell where I ended it off. But you know,
that's like our bodies. One side looks different than the other side. So there you go. You matched it.
I know.
One side of our hair is thicker than the other side. One eye looks different.
I know. It's like I got these really
one
thick
hand
bangs
looks
on that
different
side.
than the other hand. One boob is bigger than the other one. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I was just talking. I've
our
got
whole
old lady
body
hands
is
for my
different.
chickens. That's right. I got those old lady hands. But anyway, that's really pretty much all the tips. You know, sleeves are not hard. You know, you already did the body. I mean, to me, a sleeve is just a really narrow body. You just make it skinny.
Yeah.
And of course, they have
You
some
know what's really
decreasing.
hard for me about knitting, really about anything, is we talk about this a lot because I call myself a rule follower. And so it's like if there's a pattern and there are rules all the way through the pattern, I have a hard time saying, I'm going to do that different. You know, because it's like, well, if I do it different, is it going to make it look a way that it's not supposed to, or I'm not going to like it? But what I've had to keep telling myself is, it's okay to do it different. You know,
Oh,
you look at the
yes,
pattern and
definitely.
you decide, you know, if that, and I've had a lot of thought process over the last week of how I'm going to actually finish my sweater and what it's going to look like. And I had one idea to begin with, but as I've been knitting it and holding it up and thinking about it and how I'm going to wear it, and I've changed some of my thought process. You know,
What you gonna do?
Well,
share.
well,
Show
first
off
of
your
all,
sweater.
I really have knitted in the nooks and crannies the last week. I had a really busy week at work because Mary Catherine and the girls were coming at the end of last week, and so I don't. I've still got some more to do you know, to have a hold of mine. I got to get this straight. I've still got more to do before I can start the bottom and cast off and start this. So I've really got to do a lot to hit the deadline. But this is the way it's looking.
Oh, it looks great.
And of course, here is my sides with my sleeves.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. Looks
And
great.
so this is how far I've gone down past the bottom.
Yeah. You're
Which I'm
halfway
really
there.
not. Yeah, I'm really not going to go way far, because what I've decided I want to do is and is it windy that's in Scotland?
Can you take that away from your microphone? There
Oh,
you go.
I'm sorry.
We won't be able to hear you.
I think it's Wendy, because Wendy has already sent her picture, and we were looking at the finished ranunculuses that have already been sent in, and I had already decided that I wanted to do a deep rib. And I think, Linda, I'm not going to go down a size because I want that to fold around my waist area really loosely.
To
because
flow instead of...
Right. I don't want it to pull
I
in
like
any.
that idea.
And I want a very deep rib so that it looks real tailored, you know, down there.
Oh, I
and then
like
I want
that.
then I want to wear it over a very airy light dress that's kind of full, but because it's very tailored there, it's creating a nice line on top of the like sundress. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking I don't want to
Yeah,
go
I
down
like
too
it.
far on the sleeves, because I'm going to wear it like over something real strappy, like a strappy dress, and it'll just kind of drape over that and be more of a shoulder covering than a sleeve is what I'm thinking. So anyway, that is totally different than what I was thinking when I first started knitting.
Kind of like a
knitting it.
vest. Almost a long
Kind
vest.
of, yeah, like a
Yeah.
long vest. And so I don't think that I'm going to have to do much to what's there at the sleeve other than maybe just a few rows. And I'm kind of leaning towards a very small rib or a little, the I-cord bind off. So
I love
we need to
it.
pause. Because
My
I'm-
earbuds have died.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Can you hear the
I can't-
echo?
Yeah, it's echoing on my side. Do you have it? Do you have any?
I do. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to pause this. Now remind me that I paused it.
Okay.
I don't understand. They just must be dying. So hold on. This is so crazy. Well, this is what I wear when I'm editing so I can hear everything. Well, guys, obviously we've had a technical difficulty and my earbuds died. So now I've got my production phones on, which is what I listen to when I'm editing the videos. I'm going to fix my camera just a wee bit because it's a little out of whack. Okay, so where were we, my friend? Where were we? I think...
We were
see.
talking about my ranunculus, and
And you were going to do the wide band to
the
make
wide
it more.
band, and
yeah,
we're talking
and it
about
looked
the
like a vest.
sleeves and how that I was either going to do a very narrow rib on my sleeves because I'm not going to make them very long, or I'm going to do the I-cord. So I hadn't really decided that yet, but I'll do one of the two. So
Yeah. It probably would look kind of neat with the same band on your sleeves.
yeah,
I think
I
it
kind of
could.
thought that too, but I don't.
You know,
want it,
not
I don't
as
want it to
wide,
be-
but maybe wider than a normal band, like somewhere in between. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's so, see, this
I
is
can
what's so
play
fun
with
about
it.
this sweater.
I can play with
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, yeah, that's fun. I like it. I like your idea. I really like the idea of the wide band at the bottom and keeping it loose. Because that's kind of how my tunic that I made was my first sweater I made. My Christmas tunic took like 2 years. Well, I didn't knit it for 2 years, but it took 2 years. But yeah, it had a big wide, it had a split. It had a split and it was a little longer in the back and it had a
Well,
wide bottom.
You know, with our midlife, it's really past midlife bodies. I don't have a 24-inch waist anymore.
Yeah, you
my
like
mama
everything. We
used-
like things straight.
Everything's got to be, nothing pulling in to show any lumps or bumps.
Well, yeah, we don't
No
exactly
lumps
have
or
an
bumps.
hourglass figure anymore. Ours is
We
more like
don't.
a tumbler.
There you go.
Straight. Well, I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, I'm
So-
excited about it.
Yeah. So we need your submissions for your ranunculus. Even if you're not done, that's okay. Just show us what you've got
Yeah,
and
just
mention the needle size and the yarn weight, because people like to see, what different yarn weights look like with different needles.
Yeah.
And submit that. And if you submit them to us by the 23rd, they will make it to the fashion show. So we've been already,
The
getting some
23rd of
submissions.
February.
Yes,
the 23rd
of February.
of February.
And it will be our first episode in March will be the fashion show. So that'll be
I'm
fun.
excited.
And your ranunculus will be famous because people look for examples of what different sweaters look like, so they know where they want to
do.
go with theirs. And so, people have been making some different varieties. In fact, like you had mentioned, one gal did a split seam. I think it's Karen. I think it was Karen. We'll know for sure on the fashion show. But yeah, so people have been doing a lot of fun things. So yeah. There was a community question, and I told Jody, her name's Jody, that we would address it on this episode. But I think I'm going to go ahead and write the answer as well, because she may not want to wait until this comes out to know the answer. But here was her question. She said, I just separated for sleeves and my counts are off. All my increases seem to be correct, so the count was probably off before I got to those, though I have no idea how. I'm missing 5 stitches in the body and 3 in each of the sleeves. What should I do? So before I answer my opinion, because it's just my opinion what I would do, and again, we need to put our Elizabeth Zimmerman on. She's so inspiring to me. I'm going to start buying all her books because I love understanding what you're doing so that you can do,
Right.
So think about this. Depending on how many stitches per inch you have, if you're off by 5, that can be as much as an inch if you're having 5 stitches per inch. So you could have an inch off in the body. Now this is the precursor, so I'll get to the point. And then a 1/2 inch in the sleeve. The sleeve probably just won't matter. I wouldn't worry at all about the sleeve. If the inch in the body is cutting it close to where you're comfortable. So yeah, if you need to regain those 5 stitches,
You would have
because
to add them back.
yeah, you could do some increases you could do 1 or just add 4. Forget the 1. Add 1 here, 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 on your first row. And I would just, just add a stitch and just start working down the body. Oops. I don't think.
And then you have to decide what kind of increase you're going to do. If you do a knit front and back, you're going to get a garter bump where you did the knit to the back. It gives a garter bump, or you could do the increases like we did in the yoke, where it was you picked up the right leg of a stitch and put it up on the stitch, and then
Yeah, I don't
knitted
think
that.
it's going to be
That
that
did an
noticeable
increase.
because it's right next to all of this. I almost don't.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know. What do you think? I'm not sure. Like if you increased
I would want to do the increases under the arm, 1 stitch
All of
extra
them?
on one side.
well, that'd be 2.
I would. It would
Okay.
be 2 and 3, or you could just do 2, 2, and then you're short 1 stitch, which is not going to make a real
No.
big.
Yeah.
She could do 2 increases under each arm.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Once the
See,
arms
this
are
is like a
joined.
real yarn circle. We're going to talk it out. We're going to work it out. But that's what I would do. Let's just add 2 on each side. So, because it doesn't matter, except count your stitches, because if you're going to do a ribbing, you've got to have a certain number. So, yeah, adding 2, that would be really
Well,
quite
you
perfect then.
could
2 on
do
each
2.
side. Yeah.
Well, you could do 2 on each side, and you could do
Yeah.
1 in the back, in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
2, 2, and then 1 in the very back. I
Yeah.
would stray away from adding a stitch in the front, just because of
It's the front.
cosmetics of it. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But I doubt that the sleeve, the 3 stitches in the sleeve will make a difference.
Unless that a person would need it for the diameter of their arm. Like if it's going to make it, yeah, I mean you have to think about the size of your arm, and if it is going to make a difference, just like if the 5 stitches are going to make a difference in the round, then you're going to have to add stitches both places. And I would say either add for the body under the arms, or add under the arms if you're having to increase for the arms, because you're going to, if you're taking away inches if you don't add those stitches back in.
And you could just pick up those extra stitches and not eliminate them, because you need to get, when you pick up your stitches to add your sleeve, you could just pick them up, because you're probably going to need to do so to eliminate holes anyway.
That's true. You could pick those stitches up when you're
Easily
going.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
easy for the arms, and then for the body, add 2 under each arm and 1 in the center of the back, and you got your 5 stitches back.
Yeah.
There you go.
So hopefully that helped. But yeah, don't take it apart. You'll be fine. If you made any decent amount of ease in your sweater, it'll be okay. But yeah, she did not actually mention the how many stitches per inch, so what she was getting, but they're probably 5 to 7. If just that's usually the range. So anyway, but don't forget to send your sweater in, even if you're not done, Jody. We want to see it.
We do want to see it. And remember, you're the designer, so anything that you decide to do is okay.
Right.
It's okay. Don't sweat over that. Just if you think you need the stitches, get them back. You know how to increase where it's going to bother you the least, or you think it'll be seen the least for cosmetics. And
Well, and because it's lacy here, that actually is a blessing, for adding a stitch, because it's not going to be as noticeable as if it, didn't have all that going on. So we had a whole lot of people watching all of the videos and the Knit to Fit and saying that they were knitting a ranunculus, and we'd really love to see your projects and add them to our fashion show. So,
yes.
And you'll be submitting those to contactyarnoverwithus@gmail.com. And the other thing, before we get to any other things we got to take care of this business, is our Zoom is on Saturday at 10 o'clock. So if you want to be part of that and get the code for the Zoom, go to yarnoverwithus.com and sign up for our email. We will not be sending you a lot of emails, we promise. So we just send the important ones, and we will send you that code. And so look for it, look for it, and look for confirmation.
And we'll keep it to an hour, and that's 10 Eastern Standard Time.
It's fun. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to connect with everybody, talk about our ranunculuses. Those of us that are doing it will, when a bunch of women get together, we can talk about anything.
Oh,
It'll be fun.
And I just love to listen, because I like to see everybody. It's fun
I'll
because
probably be doing a lot of listening, because I'll have 2 little grandbabies here, so I might be muting out listening, but I'll be there.
That's okay. That's okay. And let them pop their little heads in if they need to. So let's see, what else? Have you been knitting on anything else?
The only other thing that I've knitted on this week is I showed the January blanket club from a homespun house, and I've almost got that finished. So I'm waiting for the February blanket club to come, but I'm almost finished with the January. So it's going to be a fun blanket to knit on this year, and that's the only other thing that I worked on. Did you work on anything this week? What did you do?
Well, I have a confession. Danny's sweater has become the bane of my existence on this earth. Especially, no, seriously. Nothing has caused me more grief than this sweater. I had about this much of it done, and I was into the pattern, and this is just dumb. I'm going to admit it, but it was all bunched up, and I did the math. I had the diagrams, all the things, and I was knitting him a small, and he normally wears a large in t-shirts and whatnot. The small was massive.
Oh.
It was like, and because I said, oh, let me see how this is going to look at you. And I'm like, wrapping him like a mummy. I said, what on earth? And I checked my gauge again. And so I went to the Drops site to find some comments about the sweater again. And the things I read were I had to do a lot of modifications. This is a very difficult pattern, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this. I'm done with it. I just, so I took that apart, but that's okay. I'm going to knit him a different sweater. I found a different one that has a lot of popular projects. It's popular on Ravelry, and I'll knit that for him next year. And then I started knitting my little scarf, and I'm kind of doing my own thing. I'm enjoying the doing my own thing. So this was going to be a triangle scarf, and I didn't want a triangle scarf. I just wanted a little skinny scarf. So I cheated, and I went to Petite Knit's Sophie scarf to see how wide it was. And I'm doing a simple, I got started with 4 stitches, went back and forth, doing an I-cord edge with an increase every 4th row until it got to my 5 inches. And now I'm just going to do it to the 5 inches, and then I'll just decrease. So I'm making a little scarf, which has been a nice therapeutic knit. And I have been knitting on my Korean poncho. So because I'm waiting, I ordered some yarn. I decided, I keep saying I'm not going to do things and I do them, and vice versa, right? I'm not going to do that, and then you do it. Never say never is the motto. But I bought some more of the it's the Lindy chain. I bought some more of the Lindy chain yarn in a pretty kind of it's actually called conch, which is perfect for where I'm going in Florida. So it's kind of it's just a lot like this color right here, right? It's a lot like this color, and I'm gonna make myself a short sleeve top because I'm gonna have many hours in the car, many, like 30. I might have it done by the time we get back.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ordered that, but I'm going to finish this scarf. This scarf should be done in like a day or two. But I'm using, what am I using? I've had some, it's the lace mohair from Chelsea Yarns. And then this I had in my stash. It's just called Holiday Yarns. It's a fingering. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Well, that'll be pretty.
Just keeping myself busy while I find something that to do. But yeah, I'm going to have a lot of mohair, so I'm going to be taking some of my, I said this last week, so it's a repeat. I'm going to be making some scarves, and some of them are going to be kind of blends of colors, but this one's going to be all the peachy color, the conch, the conch shell. But yeah, so that's really all. So I really had hoped to have my sweater blocked, but I just didn't have time. We were busy. I had a busy weekend.
While I've been trying to get my body done on the ranunculus, I watch TV and YouTube and things like that normally when I'm knitting, because I don't feel guilty like I'm wasting time because I'm not wasting time when I'm knitting, but it's like I need entertainment while I do that. And you out there are probably here because YouTube, some of you, it probably recommended for you to watch us. And so, YouTube does that. They recommend. And while I was knitting this week, I had this recommendation to come up, and this is what it said. It said 11 items you need to stock up on. And I thought, well, what is that all about? And so I clicked on the video and I watched it. It was short. I don't even know if it was 10 minutes long. But the guy started off by saying that there's some issues, something going on with supply chains for different things that we buy from the grocery store on a regular basis. And he gave 11 items, and I'm going to give those 11 items.
Oh, okay.
It really was interesting. It was very interesting.
So now we have a new section. It's called the prepper section.
Well, here's the thing.
I'm just teasing.
Whenever that we're in a yarn circle, you never know what you're going to talk about. So
Exactly.
This is
the
is
kind of
yarn
stuff we
circle
talk
stuff.
about.
But the number one thing was canned tomatoes, and I thought, oh my gracious,
I always
how
have
can we
tons.
live without tomatoes? But it has something to do with the water issue in California right now, and many of our tomatoes come from California, and they said that the grocery stores, when they order 100 cases, they're only getting about 60% of what they're ordering. And
Well,
they're
I
saying
have
that,
noticed that Aldi,
Yeah. Yes, I
the
had
tomato
too. So-
sauce has been empty
Exactly.
for months.
And they said everything tomato. Whole
Really?
stewed tomatoes, diced tomatoes, tomato sauce, tomato paste. And then I'm sitting there thinking, oh me, the Mexican restaurants, they're going to start charging for chips and sauce.
Oh,
And then I'm thinking,
what a thought.
Oh man, I make
Oh,
spaghetti all the
gasp.
time, and so
Oh,
it's
I'm making
spaghetti
chili
sauce.
today, yeah.
And then I thought, oh, all those people that have gardens and grow their tomatoes, they're so lucky because they grow them and they can them. I don't do that. And so he said, look, this is not to create, pandemonium, because we create issues when we go out and overbuy, because
Sure.
think about back at COVID and the toilet paper issue. That never
Oh,
made sense.
Lord.
But anyway, we created it. But he said, just buy 10 cans extra when you go shopping. And I thought, well, that's such a great idea. And then they said, focus more. I had somebody tell me, focus more on tomato paste than tomato sauce, because you can make tomato sauce from tomato paste.
True.
So if they
True.
don't have tomato sauce, do tomato paste. But he said, just buy an extra 10 cans. He said, I always keep about 100 cans of tomatoes in different forms on my shelf. And this is just a good thing,
Wow.
if you're homebound for 2 or 3 weeks and you can't get out, you've got a good backup supply of things that you can make food with.
Right.
So I'm
right.
not going to talk extensively about all of the next 10, but butter was one of them. And he also had a video that I watched about 20 items that are going to start disappearing from Costco. And it's the Costco, the Kirkland brand items. He mentioned butter. But butter was on his 11 list, but it was on the 20 items that are going to be disappearing from Costco. But he said it had something to do with them going up on the price, and Costco was not willing to do that, so they're cutting out Kirkland brand butter. He said, so if you want it, it's going to be in the next months or so that the Kirkland brand butter is not going to be there anymore. So butter, and he said, listen, he said butter freezes. He said, so when you're at the store, buy 2 or 3 extra pounds of butter. Don't go crazy. Go home, open up the boxes, put them in freezer bags with a single sticks, and then just take out what you're going to need that week and let it thaw in the refrigerator. And he said, so freeze your butter, but put butter in your freezer. And I thought, what a wonderful idea.
Oh, I have butter in my freezer.
And then he said,
Oh, can I talk about the butter for a minute?
Yeah.
That Kirkland butter is excellent because it's from
excellent
New
butter.
Zealand. I think it's New Zealand, and they don't allow pesticides on
And
their.
that's what he said. He said
did he?
the Kirkland
Yeah, that's why I
butter
buy
is
it.
the best butter
It
and
is.
the best price for the money. He said, so go get you some Kirkland butter because it's going to disappear from the shelf. And then
like
he
that.
talked about pasta of all kinds. I can't remember what he said about that. It has something to do
Not
with
the
supply
Italian
chain.
pasta organic.
He
there.
said, well, not necessarily at Costco. He just said across the board. He said,
Well,
you're going to
then.
start seeing less and less pasta in the store, but it has something to do with supply chain. And he said, so what happens is when there's an issue with supply chain, he said what they do is they raise the price. He said, so if you want to get your pasta at, you know, a good price, now's a good time to go get extra, whatever, you know, you use. Then he talked about cooking oils, and he said that cooking oils, and this is another supply chain issue. He also, when I listened to the Costco thing, that's one of the things that's going to disappear is the signature organic olive oil that's Kirkland brand. He said right now they're trying to get rid of it, that you can get 2 for $25. He said, but when the Kirkland brand is gone, the olive oil that you're going to be buying, you can be paying as much as $45 for that size of olive oil. And so I thought, you know, this is just good stuff to share with the yarn circle. I mean, it's not to create chaos, but these were, we'll put the link for this video of the 11 items, because then you can go in and listen to his other ones. He has some great stuff there. And then he said canned fish, and this has something to do with where they're catching the fish and all that. He said tuna, canned salmon, and then also your sardines. He said if you like seafood, he said, of course, these are great healthy items to have on your shelf, that if you needed meat and protein and you couldn't cook for some reason, that these canned fishes would be very good to be on your shelf. He talked about peanut butter. He mentioned the states that grow the peanuts, Georgia, Alabama. There was another one. He said there's some type of issue going on there. And he says, so get your peanut butter. Rice, and he talked about that. I can't remember the details. Powdered milk.
It's all staples.
Yeah, it's all staples, but powdered milk. And I have never stocked powdered milk, but he said a lot of these items you can buy the food grade barrels and use the gamma lids. And he said put the oxygen absorber sheets, which I've never used. But he said when you put them in there, he said some of this stuff will last 25, 30 years in the food grade barrels. And but he also talked about powdered milk, and he said a lot of people think that powdered milk tastes bad. He said, but when you use it in cooking for you have no idea. You don't know that it's powdered. And so I thought, well, I've never bought powdered milk, but he also talks on there how to store it, to make sure you don't store it in the cardboard boxes that it comes in. So, and I can't remember the details there.
A powdered milk is a much better powdered creamer than the fake creamer with all those chemicals.
That's a great idea. Yeah, to get powdered milk and use that for your creamer. That's a neat idea. Good idea. And then he talked about canned beans, and of course, you know, that's just a great shelf thing to have. But what he did mention is an issue with the cans that they put the beans in, that there's an issue there, and that's why you won't. But I remember years ago at Costco, I buy canned green beans and the little lazure peas. And I asked one time why they weren't there, and the guy said, we can't get them because there's an issue with the cans that they put the food in. And that was years ago, so I don't know. He mentioned that. And then oats, like rolled oats, you know, that you can get. And then he said coffee. He said that coffee, the prices
at least we get ours
increasing.
from our shopping club.
Yes, we get ours from our shopping club, which is great coffee. But
great decaf, too.
That's right. And a blip there, go to our website and go in and ask to get information on a shopping club. Great stuff there. But he talked about coffee, and he said that the price of coffee is going up. He said coffee, it's you store it, you know, it lasts on the shelf. He says, so if you want the best price for your coffee, go ahead and buy it at a price that is more affordable, because those prices are going up. So anyway, that was the 11
and
items.
if you have a food saver, you know, bag food saver,
you
can take,
airtight.
I will take, for instance, if I need flour, I will put, because I don't use flour a lot, so it tends to be around a while, and I don't want any bugs to get in it, and I don't need a bunch of those buckets laying around. I just literally put it in a big, I create my own bag for it, and just suck all the air out of it, and it's airtight. So yeah, I love those. I actually got my mother's, and I never knew how wonderful they were because I used to can everything, and now I can kind of just do that instead. They're great.
That's a neat way
Yeah.
to save it.
But
anyway,
man, those are
I know
all
that,
staples. Those are all
Yeah.
things that a lot of us use every day.
you just kind of add stuff, and he said just when you're in the grocery store, just have this list, and then of course listen to the 20 things that are going to disappear from Costco if you shop at Costco. Many of you out there may not do that,
I love
but that would be
Costco.
on his YouTube channel. So anyway, we'll put the link in the description, and you can go and check out some of these things. It's just good. It's just good,
Your news update.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you that Italian organic pasta they have, it comes in, I think, a 6-pack or 8-pack, and they're different shapes of pasta. It doesn't taste like the pasta in the grocery stores. It is so good. And it seems like I don't have the same glycemic reaction to it. I tend to get what I call carb crashes if I eat carbs. I'll eat if it's heavy on carbs and it's like I'm real sleepy. I don't get sleepy from it. So I don't know what's different about it. It's probably the wheat they use, but it's excellent pasta. And even my husband is not a big pasta eater. He likes that pasta. So I guess we got to stock up on that.
Yeah, because the video that he did on 20 things that are going to be disappearing from Costco, it's Kirkland brand items. So, I was reading in the comments below, and one person, several people wrote, well, I don't even need a Costco membership anymore because that's what I go in there and buy is their Costco brand things. And if they're going to be disappearing, I don't want to buy the other stuff, But anyway, it's good to know, because if you are going to go shop at Costco, then those are items that you might want to go and get some of them,
And
just
outside of the coffee, I think I use all of those things that you mentioned.
I
So
know, me too.
the butter
I
is
was
the best.
same thing. The
And
butter
it's
is
bright
amazing.
yellow. It's bright,
Yes.
bright, because the cows are eating all
Great
that
butter.
grass. Oh, it's great
I just
butter,
can't
yeah.
believe, maybe they'll renegotiate the price or something. But as of right now, they're not going to carry, if that's true.
Well,
So
private
anyway.
labeled brands are usually made by, packaged by a famous brand, okay?
Yeah.
But they tend to tweak it enough to where it's a little different, and then they can, or sometimes they don't even do that. They just put their private label on it. So maybe their Kirkland brand is going to come back with another brand of butter that's going to be the same. It's just going to have some other
Could
label
be.
on it. That's
Yeah,
my hope.
But it may
I'm worried about the
disappear,
butter.
and it may disappear for a little while. So I'm going to go get me some Kirkland butter because I love
know.
butter.
I know.
I use butter
I
all
know.
the time. I love butter. What would the
Paula.
world be without butter? Everything's got to have a stick of butter.
Oh yeah, I mean, true.
stick of
I know. I
butter.
saw this thing on Facebook. Do you use milk or butter in your mashed potatoes? I'm like, both.
Butter. Well, and I'll use
Both.
milk if I need to, but
Yeah.
definitely, and sour
Get it real whippy.
cream. You put a little bit of sour cream in there, yeah.
Yeah. And before we end this episode, I wanted to bring up a couple of other channels that have subscribed to us and are watching. And I'm so glad
Yes.
they did, because that alerted to us that they're there. So now we have some new things to watch. So we want to say hello to The Ordinary Joy, Gypsy Queen
Hello.
Crafts, and Blueberry Bohemian. So those are some new
Yes.
things I'll get to watch when I knit and have my coffee. And thank you for following us. So
Thank you so much.
yeah. And if you are not following us, we hope that you would follow us, subscribe, and give us even a hype, because that's an extra high five.
And and let me tell you how you hype, because some people, the only way that the hype comes up on my end is you have to click that you like the episode. When you click that you like it and give it a thumbs up, then the hype thing comes up. Then you can click hype. So
And is that
that's how
only
you
on
do
the
it.
phone? I mean, can you do it on the TV?
I don't know. If
I've
you
never
do it on,
seen
you
it on the
can't do it on the
TV. No, I don't
TV.
think
You
so.
do it on your phone. So if you're watching on your phone, go to your us on your phone, and then click the little thumbs up, giving us a thumbs up. And when it does that, then a little pop up will come up and say hype it. And so then you
Right.
click on that. So that's how you do it, because I thought, well, we're telling them to hype us, but we got to tell them how to hype us. So that's how you
right.
do it.
That's right. And yesterday we got 2026 in 2026. So that's really
There
fun.
you
So we have
go.
2026 subscribers. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, well, we look forward to seeing all of your projects, and we are going to have them in our fashion show. And we're going to be recording that soon, and we look forward to seeing them. So,
And we look forward to seeing you Saturday on the Zoom.
oh yeah, the Zoom. Oh yeah, I'm excited. In fact, I had to put alert in my phone because, you know, my Saturdays get so crazy. I'm like, I actually
Yeah.
said to my husband, don't let me forget I have a Zoom. He's like, put it in your
And
phone.
we'll be
I'm like,
sending out the link on Friday,
Yeah.
because you won't need it until Saturday anyway. So you'll
Okay.
get the link on Friday.
So look at
for
Friday.
it.
Yeah, look for it. So anyway, and with that, I guess we are done.
We're done.
We're
All
done.
minds are
All right. Okay. Well, we will see you soon, hopefully on Saturday. And until then, happy knitting. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I didn't even get that far. You know, ranunculus is really hard to say.
Ranunculus. You have to say ranunculus.
Ranunculus, yes.
Ranunculus. And I probably say it like a real southerner, and I probably don't
I think it's
say it
renun, like a nun.
right.
I don't know. That
Ranun-
sweater.
Ranunculus. I can't say it like that.
I know, it's
I
a
have to
tongue
say
twister all around.
ranunculus. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You say it right, I say it wrong. I say
That's
it
okay.
wrong.
You
Okay.
say it right, I say it wrong.